everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So today I am going to be continuing my Build Newcrest Community Lots Edition challenge, and today we are building the gym. So the gym is called Jim's Gym because, you know, I thought that seemed like a funny name. And it's in style very similar to the spa that I built last week, which if you haven't seen that video, I do recommend going and checking that out and then coming back here to watch this one. So yeah, stylistically they're very similar to one another because they're very close to one another. Like, I mean, you can see last week's build from this week's lot. So I wanted them to kind of look like, you know, maybe they're about the same age of building without having it be like, you know, I just think it's strange when you have like a very like traditional styled building next to one that's very, very modern. So at least on the outside they are very similar in style. I did on the inside make this a little bit more modern and contemporary than specifically the yoga studio side of the spa build last week was. So yeah, so this is the gym. So I really wanted to use the rock climbing wall from the fitness stuff pack that came out last year. Was that only a year ago? Why does it seem like it's been so much longer ago than that? So anyways, so yeah, I wanted to use that rock wall because, again, since it was in a stuff pack, that's not really something that we're ever going to see in like a world, period. You know, some of the things that have been patched in, like, you know, okay, yeah, we'll probably see now, like, toddler beds being included in base game builds, because toddlers were patched into the base game for everybody. But obviously something that came out in a pack is never going to be patched in for everybody as part of a build. At least I would hope not. I mean, like, honestly, after the whole shenanigans with the My First Pet stuff pack, I don't even know anymore, but in any case, so I wanted to include that, and then obviously I wanted to have all of the usual like fitness equipment types of things, like the treadmills and the weight machines and the punching bags, and I think that's about it. It feels like we should have more types of workout equipment than just those three, and like we have a bunch of different like reskins, especially of the weight machines and the treadmills. But it would be nice at some point to have like some other fitnessy types of things. I mean, I guess I could have included things like the basketball hoop and that sort of thing, but I didn't, because to me that's more of an activity than like a workout. I don't know. I don't necessarily like put a lot of weight in that, but I had to come up with a reason why I didn't include it, so that's my reason. So yeah, so the building is obviously a little bit of an older style of building. I did put a more contemporary, or like, I always think that door is like a factory style door. I've used that a lot actually in various builds that I've done. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I really like it. I do wish we had a version that didn't have the blue glass, but yeah, that's okay. Because to me, it makes the door stand out a little bit more to have it be a little bit different like that. So yeah, so the way that this works is that you go in and there's a little lobby area, and then basically in order to get into the gym, you have to kind of pass through the locker room, which at least, I mean, I can't speak for gyms outside of the United States, but as far as gyms in the United States go, that's pretty standard, that, you know, like, you have to be a member to get in, or you have to know somebody who's a member to get in, or like purchase a day pass or something like that. And then in order to like basically get in and access the equipment and stuff, you have to go kind of through the locker room. So I went with that kind of a setup. So yeah, so this is me setting up where I'm going to be putting the rock climbing walls. The interesting thing with the rock climbing walls is that you have to, if you place them inside, you have to use the tallest wall height in order for them to like work. But they also, they kind of still, like, they don't really stick up, but they do a little bit. And so I like to try to create like open space above them. I have actually built a gym before I did a video a while back called The Rock Gym, which, again, I recommend you check it out. And that was back when the fitness stuff pack had first come out. And so there I used, obviously, the rock wall. That's why it was called The Rock Gym. And I also had to kind of create like an open space kind of above it from the second story. Just because while it technically fits, it doesn't look great, I think, to have it just like all the way up to the ceiling. And yeah, I mean, let's be real, they're rock climbing walls, so like they're big pieces of equipment. And to have the ceiling like right above the top feels a little claustrophobic. Plus, like, if I was on the rock climbing wall, I wouldn't like to have something right above my head like that. I don't know. To me, like, that would just be, yeah, not okay. It feels like it could be too risky. So now I'm just going through. At some point, one of the doors had disappeared off of the bathroom, so I go back in and I fix that. I did realize, I was so annoyed. So, of course, I had actually gone ahead, and usually I take screenshots and then I upload to the gallery, but for some reason I did the reverse this time and I uploaded it to the gallery, and while I was going through and taking screenshots, I realized that at one point when I was trying out different patterns of bricks on the, like, outside of the building, I had accidentally, like, there was one spot where when I had created like the bump out, I then had to place a room on top of it in order to use the trim on like one of the side walls, and for some reason it treated that like little separate room as like an actual separate room, but only on part of the bump out. I don't know, it's complicated, but in any case, you will notice that part of the like the wall pattern is a little bit different in one spot on the outside of the building, but that's not terribly difficult to fix. It's just like 3 or 4 tiles worth, and I was so annoyed and mad at myself because I usually like check over everything, but I was kind of in a hurry. I mean, I wasn't really in a hurry to do this week's build, but I was in more of a hurry than I would have preferred. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, I was very distracted because I was watching Fuller House while I was building this. And I actually, okay, no spoilers if you're watching Fuller House, which, I mean, like, okay, the most recent episodes came out before Christmas, so I'm very late to the party on this one, but, like, I didn't have time right before Christmas to watch the most recent, like, chunk of episodes, but I was watching episodes that took place after the wedding in Japan, and there's a lot that happens there, and I was watching that while I was building this, so if there's some parts that kind of slow down a little bit, or some silly mistakes that happen, blame Fuller House. So, not me. Definitely not my fault. Nope. But, no, in seriousness, though, I really did. I was a little distracted while I was doing this, because I don't know, I have to do something else while I'm building. Like, I don't like not having something else going on, because then it's almost more difficult for me to concentrate, but obviously Fuller House was not the right choice. Also, so I really like these square mats, but I wish we had them in other sizes, because when you size them up, the tiles become, like, huge. Like, I wish we had one that was, like, a smaller, like, maybe only a 4x4, but the tiles were all the same. Like, you know, the rubber gym mat type of thing. I really wish we had that, but we don't. Because normally I just scale rugs up and down to suit my needs, and it usually works out okay, but for that one, it doesn't really work. So anyways, Fuller House, yeah. I don't know, I'm probably, like, dating myself or whatever, but so when the original show Full House first came out, I was 6 months old, 7 months old. So I was roughly, I am roughly about the same age as Michelle Tanner on the show, because the show starts when she's about 6 months old, and I was 6 months old when the show started, so, you know, about the same age, give or take a little bit. So, like, growing up, that was one of the very few shows that was on, like, not PBS that we were allowed to watch. Because my parents were, like, they were kind of strict about what we could and couldn't watch on TV growing up, and we didn't have cable, so like I missed out on all of the like Nickelodeon things, which like I never watched Rugrats. The first time I ever watched Legends of the Hidden Temple, I was a junior in college because we didn't have cable, so I never watched it, and it actually worked out okay. Like, I mean, in hindsight, I really don't care that I like missed out or whatever on those things, because I did a lot of other things besides sit around and watch TV, which, I mean, I don't know. I know not everybody gets to be that lucky, but like we played outside a lot. We played with a lot of toys, and you know, with my brother and sister and I played with each other all the time. I mean, like we were each other's like best friends and best playmates growing up, and you know, I mean, I do think that has something to do with it, the fact that we didn't just spend all of our free time watching TV. I mean, that said, we did watch TV, but not most things. Like, we watched things like Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers and, you know, things like that, which, you know, and even then, we didn't watch tons of them. I do remember, like, as we got older, we got a little bit more lax about that sort of thing. Like, so after Full House ended, there was, like, a year or two gap where there really wasn't anything on TV besides, like, PBS that we were allowed to watch. By the way, if you're not from the United States, PBS is Public Broadcasting System, I believe. It's basically, it's our public television, and it's usually like educational types of programs. It's where originally Sesame Street used to air, although now it's on HBO, which is strange to me. But yeah, it's things like Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It's also where Downton Abbey used to air. Not when I was a kid, obviously, but, so yeah, so it was like that type of show. Anyways, so I did watch, by the time I was like 10 or 11, I was allowed to watch Sabrina the Teenage Witch, because that had just come out on TV at that point, but like, really prior to that, it was like Full House, and not much else. But, you know, I mean, like, that's honestly, like I said before, I didn't really mind so much. I do remember, like, my 3rd grade birthday party, which, you know, like, growing up, you have to, like, invite everybody in your class to birthday parties, even if you're not really friends with them, or, like, and it wasn't so much that I didn't like them, it was that I was scared of them, because, like, I don't know, I was always kind of a nerd in school. Like, I say that I was a nerd, but, like, I had friends. Like, I had my group of friends, and we were all really, like, close. But then there was, like, the other group, you know, and they were, like, inherently the cool girls. But I still had to invite them, which was annoying. Anyways, one of the girls in the cool group had given me, like, a Rugrats board game. Now, I had no idea what the Rugrats was. I had never even heard of it. I was just like, these children are hideously ugly. Like, please don't hate me. But I was like, what do I do with this? I also got something from, and I don't remember what it was, but I got something from that same birthday from the show The Secret Life of Alex Mack, which evidently Melissa Joan Hart was on that show. I don't know, never watched it. The first Melissa Joan Hart thing I ever watched was Sabrina, and, you know, so, yeah. I don't know. I didn't really watch much, like, other TV besides PBS. But yeah, anyways, I don't even know how I got onto that topic. I'll have to go back and re-listen, because now I'm very curious how I wound up. Oh my god. Okay, once again, I do apologize. Though I am not recording this late at night, I am, like, tired, because we're still dog sitting for my in-laws, and while I love their dog, Millie, very, very much, she's a handful. Like, she is exhausting sometimes to be around. I mean, like, she's very sweet and very lovable. She's actually sitting, like, right outside of this room as I'm recording this, because I couldn't have her be in the room, because she sometimes just barks without reason or provocation. She just barks. And, you know, she's very protective of me, which I appreciate, but at the same time, I'm like, shh, be quiet. Like, and it doesn't help. Oh god. So one of our neighbors is moving out of their house, which we didn't even know that they were moving. And so there have been people at their house like all weekend. Like they had an open house for a while yesterday, so like there were tons of cars on our street, and it was so busy and chaotic, and there were people walking by and car doors slamming, and so like both of our dogs were freaking out and barking, and like my poor husband was just trying to take a nap. And because so I'm recording this on Sunday, which in the US is Mother's Day, but we actually celebrated Mother's Day with both my side of the family and my husband's side of the family yesterday. And in between the two events, all he wanted to do was just take a little nap. And our dogs were not having it. Like, they were so upset about all the people. And so, yeah, it's just, they were on high alert. Anyways, so this is Jim's gym. Of course, as always, I put this lot up on the Sims 4 gallery. So you can download it using the link in the box below. Or you can search for it on the gallery using hashtag Mrs. Tomato 1018 or my username Mrs. Tomato 1018. And yeah, as always, there's no custom content. I do recommend turning on move objects before you place it, because I did use move objects for some of those like towels and things like that. But yeah, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys enjoy this gym. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, you can do so down below. I put out a new video every single day, Monday through Friday. So yeah, so thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!